Thank you.
All right, well, we are gonna head down to the post office, check for mail, then we're gonna hit the spring, refill our water, and then head to the local trading post and get some fuel.
I might lose that one.
All right, we're gonna do a little breakfast for lunch with a blueberry chamomile Dutch baby with some lemon honey mascarpone on top. But first, I am gonna shape my dill sourdough loaf to go with dinner tonight. We're gonna do some salmon patties. So Dutch babies are really easy. You are just gonna preheat your oven to 450. I take a good few tablespoons of grass-fed butter, put it in a skillet, and then add about a cup of berries and a tablespoon of honey and a little cinnamon, and just kind of cook it on high heat for a couple minutes. Then I'm gonna pop this in my oven, my cast iron with my blueberries on it, while I just whip up some flour and some infused milk and eggs and spices to make the actual Dutch baby. I'm just gonna infuse my milk with a little chamomile and some cinnamon stick. So I'm gonna take about 3/4 cup of milk and put it on low in a sauce pot with a couple tablespoons of chamomile and a whole cinnamon stick. And I'll just kind of gently infuse that for a few minutes while my blueberries cook here. So I'm actually gonna pop this whole skillet in the oven as it preheats while I finish infusing my milk and whipping up my flour in a blender. All right, so this has infused for about 5-ish minutes. I'm gonna strain it out, and with this you actually just whip it up in a blender, or I just whip it up in a blender, but I'm gonna use my immersion blender, and I'm just gonna strain this milk into my mason jar, add 3/4 cup of flour and a little bit of salt and my eggs, and then whip it all up. Oh no. And then I'm just gonna pop this out of the oven, push all the berries into the center of the pan, and then kind of swirl my batter over it. Okay, I'm just gonna cook that for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'll check on it and see if it's done. So we're just gonna take these frozen blueberries, put a little bit of honey and some cinnamon and a little bit of lemon, and just mix it up and kind of let it sit. And we're gonna top this Dutch baby with this fruit, and then also our homemade blueberry syrup that we canned up a few weeks ago. Okay, I'm gonna check on this Dutch baby. Maybe like a few more minutes, maybe a couple more, just like 2. So while that goes a few more minutes, I'm gonna start on my topping here. I am gonna throw my Dutch oven in my oven at 450 and get it all nice and hot and ready for my dill sourdough. All right, so this is ready to try. You wanna try? Lena's gonna love it, I think. I don't think she's ever had a Dutch baby.
No. Like a really good crepe.
Can you taste the chamomile? This is one of my favorite breakfasts. All right, my bread is ready to go in the oven. I'm just gonna dust it with some flour and score it. Okay, nice and hot. Okay, that's going for 20 minutes with the lid on and 20 minutes with it off. Okay, well, we are ready to take our dill sourdough out of the oven. We're gonna head outside, do a little firewood. We're both somewhat under the weather, so we're gonna try to do the best we can with that. And then we're gonna make some salmon. All of our elderberry syrups and our good stuff came in handy, so. Okay, a little loaf. I made a mini loaf this time, and I'm gonna take some for breadcrumbs for my salmon patties. And we're gonna use this for bread for our salmon burgers, so.
Supposed to be. Start a little fire for dinner.
Okay, so we're gonna go cut one of the trees here in front of the cabin. It's about 18 degrees out now. It was really cold last night. I believe it was around -14. So the ground has a nice hard crust on it, so it's gonna make it pretty easy to walk down there. It's a little bit windy out, which isn't the best conditions for cutting trees, but it's not too bad, and I think I can manage. We're gonna use steel MS-250. This saw we primarily use for our sawmill, or when our other saw is down or broken, we'll use it as a spare. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna fuel and oil up this saw, and then I'm gonna walk down the hill there and cut that tree down. You should have chaps when you do this, and you should probably do it when it's not windy. We sharpened this saw yesterday, so it's nice and sharp and ready to go. It's important to have a nice sharp saw when you start. We're gonna go ahead and fuel it and fill it with bar and chain oil, and then we'll go get to cutting some trees. Okay, so I'm gonna take a few of these trees here. Eventually, I'm probably gonna take almost all of these to kind of open up a view. What you're gonna wanna do when you cut these trees is you're gonna wanna make sure you have a good landing, so somewhere for the tree to fall without hang-ups in it. And you're also gonna wanna kind of look to see which way the tree naturally leans. It's gonna be easier to fall in the direction that the tree naturally leans. So what I look for is a nice clear area in the area where the tree is naturally leaning. If there's going to be a lot of hang-ups, I'll go ahead and cut a few trees out of the way before I fall any big trees in there. It's a lot easier than trying to get the trees out of other trees. Can be a real pain and kind of dangerous. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and put a notch on one side of the tree in the direction that I want the tree to fall, and then on the other side, slightly above that notch, I'm going to make my cut. The tree will hinge on that notch and fall in that direction in theory. Let's take this one. We'll push this one uphill, and then that one, and then maybe that one. If you plan on removing the stumps after with an excavator, it's a good idea to leave a little bit of stump hanging up, I don't know, maybe a foot or two, because it gives you something to grab on with the bucket of the machine. It makes it harder to pull them out if you don't, though it's still doable. I'm not going to use an excavator here to pull these stumps out. I'm just going to let them be, so I'm going to go ahead and just cut it flush to the ground and leave it like that. So this tree here is pretty big, and it's definitely going to hang when I fall it. I don't want to cut any further down than this. So what I think I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to cut it, hope it breaks through and falls on the ground. And if it doesn't, I'll just kind of deal with it. I'll just get it unhung. So let's kind of see how that goes. So when you're clearing land on your homestead, don't rush to do it. Kind of take your time. If it's new land, camp out in a tent, kind of see the best spots and see what you want to cut. Right now, I'm just cutting for a view. I will use this wood for firewood, but I'm probably not going to haul it up the hill until summer. If you're cutting for firewood on your property, especially in the winter, I always like to cut the wood uphill from my cabin. That way, you know, it's easy to just skid it down with the sled. So we'll stack the rest of this there in that pile. We'll kind of let it season. We'll haul it up in the springtime. It's getting kind of warm out now, so the snow's getting soft, so you're starting to fall through it again. So I'll go back up there, sit for a little bit, see which ones I want to keep, which ones I don't want to keep, and I'll cut them as such. But there's no rush to clear land when you're cutting it. Just take your time. Be sure you want to cut the tree down before you do it, because once you cut it down, it's down, and it takes a long time to grow them back. So I'm going to whip up a quick little covered wood rack here. It's not going to be fancy. Eventually I'll build a better woodshed here, but just for now we're going to go ahead and whip something up. We'll buck up that pile of slab wood, take some inventory on it, and get it stacked under there. We probably have enough firewood here to last to, you know, mid to late March. We're definitely going to have to get some more because it stays cold here, you know, all the way up to June. So yeah, I'll get started. So what I think I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take this beat up piece of tin, just stick it on the ground there so the wood's not sitting directly on the ground. Stand those two pallets up, and then I got this, I don't really know what it was, a half framed in roof, and I'll stick that on top and maybe stick a wider piece of tin on that, and we got ourselves a covered wood rack. I'm not going to waste too many screws on this because I'm going to take it down in the spring, but just for now, this will do the trick. Yeah, we'll go this way. Good, place it down. Okay, so that's that. That's about all we have left. That's probably a little over a quarter cord in there, and then I have some more in the house and a little more under the house. Our wood box is full on the porch, so we probably have half a cord, a little more total, which yeah, isn't that great. That will probably last till, I don't know, I'd say late March, but we're definitely gonna need more. So over the next few days, I'm gonna go out, grab a little more firewood. Throw a few big ones in there.
So since we've all been feeling under the weather, we have really been leaning on this immune tea blend that I made a few episodes ago on the channel. It's just ginger, rose hips, elderflower, and echinacea, and it's really wonderful. It makes you feel really good. So we're gonna steep some of this while we cook.
Mom.
You wanna do it?
Yeah, I know how much to put it down.
All right, now you can pour a little in there for me.
Good?
A little bit more. All right, that's perfect. Yes, now we're gonna boil some water and pour it over this. All right, I'm gonna get started on the salmon patties. I'm just gonna toast some of this dill sourdough that I just made. Mix the salmon with some chives, some dill, some capers, a little red onion, and some cream cheese, and an egg from the hens. If you have mayonnaise, that's good in here too. I am gonna strain out our immune support tea before we head outside. Okay, we are gonna take these patties outside and get to cooking. So we really like cooking over a fire, especially in winter, because it gets you outside and by a warm fire. It also saves on propane too. And I think it makes the food just taste better. Oh, these smell awesome. One of our favorite recipes to make with the salmon roe or the salmon eggs. A lot of people discard the roe. Don't sleep on the roe. It is so good and it's so good for you. But we like to make salmon roe patties and just roe, breadcrumbs, all the same add-ins, but actually no meat, just eggs, and they're really good. I think these are perfectly done. Dennis is going to top his with a little bit of our blueberry jam. Super good.
Yeah. It's excellent. That's great. The blueberries are a good combo.
Yeah. This is really good. Oh my gosh. That is awesome.
So, okay, that's it. We hope you enjoyed that episode. Like and subscribe for more.